So excuse us, the camera had run out of battery. So we continue. Not all of these gurus have lived up to their responsibilities, and this has naturally caused disturbances. If they cannot live up to their responsibilities, that means that they're not fit to become guru in the first place. Now, if they're not fit to become guru, that means that the system that has elected them to become guru is false. How can Prabhupada allow us to have something which is not perfect? That clearly shows that this system, this bogus system of electing a guru by 2/3 votes is not bona fide. We have seen the quote that Prabhupada says, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur said that he did not want the spiritual master to be elected by the GPC member. Then we have seen Prabhupada saying also that if everyone initiates, it will simply create adverse effect. The principle of disciplic succession is to receive this transcendental knowledge. That's we have seen. Prabhupada clearly stated that even if someone was not initiated by a particular person like this, if he accepted the disciplic conclusion, he was part of the paramparā system. So it's about the transfer of transcendental knowledge. This is what we are interested in. And that is the Vedic principle. And Srila Prabhupada's direct instruction that his disciples become regular gurus. And that is completely misleading. If there was a direct instruction, then we wouldn't have to argue. Because if Prabhupada actually said it, now you become guru, you become authorized. Just like he said in 1977, Kṛṣṇa Goswami said, I see myself and all the disciples were all conditioned souls. Prabhupada agreed. And Kṛṣṇa Goswami said, and because we are conditioned souls, we cannot be guru. Prabhupada said, yeah, I'm waiting for that. The training must be complete. So where's the direct order? That is bogus.
Then our next question concerns initiations in the future. Particularly at that time when you're no longer with us. We want to know how a first and second initiation would be conducted.
Yes, I can recommend some of you. After this is settled up, I shall recommend some of you to act as officiating Ācārya.
Is that called Ritvik?
Ritvik, yeah.
So then, July 9th letter, he appoints. And he says, yes, all disciples are disciples of Srila Prabhupada.
These representatives may accept the devotee as an initiated disciple of Srila Prabhupada. The newly initiated devotees are disciples of His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. The name of a newly initiated disciple should be sent by the representative who has accepted him or her to Srila Prabhupada to be included in His Divine Grace Initiated Disciples book.
So this should continue after his disappearance. Now, even if you say in May 28 he speaks of grand disciple, okay, I will grant the point to ISKCON, GBC. So this is May 28, 1977. So Sadhva Rupa is asking, then our next question concerns initiations in the future, particularly at that time when you're no longer here with us. When you're no longer with us. We want to know how first and second initiation would be conducted. So that is the best question that they could have asked in order to understand how initiation had to be conducted. And Prabhupada says, yes, I shall recommend some of you. After this is settled up, they had some matter there, I shall recommend some of you to act as officiating Ācāryas. Now we need to understand this. Officiating Ācāryas, does it mean Dīkṣā-guru who will accept his own disciples, or it means something else? Tamal Krishna says, is that called Ṛtvik Ācārya? So obviously Tamal Krishna Goswami had heard the word Ritvik before. From Prabhupada, he had learned that. Otherwise, where he could have learned this, right? So Prabhupada spoke of this before. Now Prabhupada is saying Ritvik, yes. Not Ṛtvik Ācārya, just Ritvik, Prabhupada says. Now then, continuing in the conversation, it is a little bit confusing. We have analyzed that conversation in our IA 77, if you would like to take a look. But let's say that I give it to you, that yes, Prabhupada is speaking of grand disciple. We can see here who is initiating his grand disciple. They're asking, how are we going to do initiation when you're no longer here with us? Prabhupada says, Ritvik, I will appoint some Ritviks. Okay, and Ritvik means officiating, to officiate the Ācārya. That is after his physical disappearance. This is the question. So Ritvik system. And then grand disciple, okay, I give it to you. He says grand disciple. That means his disciples will become gurus. All right, so we have both. Now you cannot say only this one. Why? It's not for you to cherry pick. When the Ācārya is speaking in a way that seems to contradict himself, Ācārya cannot contradict himself. We have problem understanding. So when he seems to be doing two statements that completely go opposite, there's something that needs to be understood. Not that, wow, he's presenting both choices, now it is up to me to choose which one I like. It's not like this. We have to understand properly what is the situation here. So, in order to understand this properly, let's see how the conversation ends, and let's see when he appointed this Ritvik. So here's how he's ending the conversation. Prabhupada, when I order you, you become Guru. He becomes regular Guru. That's all. He becomes disciple of my disciple. That's it. When I order you. Okay, so then we just need to wait for the order. Simple. Now did that order come? Because here, Bhaktivedanta Swami is saying a direct instruction that his disciples become regular gurus. His desire has been expressed so many times, but not the direct instruction. Otherwise, why would Prabhupada say this on May 28th? When I order you, that means whatever statement you find before May 28th conversation, 1977, there's no order, obviously, because Prabhupada says, when I order you. It hasn't been done yet, so this is ABC logic. Now, he finishes like this. So what is he going to do? Is he going to appoint Ritviks in order to perform initiation when he's no longer with them? Or is he going to order them saying, you become Guru? All you need to do is from May 28th until his disappearance day. What did he do? He appointed Ritviks in his July 9th letter.
To all GBC and temple presidents, dear Maharajas and Prabhus, please accept my humble obeisances at your feet. Recently, when all of the GBC members were with His Divine Grace in Vrindavan,
that is the May 28th conversation.
Srila Prabhupada indicated that soon he would appoint some of his senior disciples to act as Ritvik, representative of the Ācārya.
Now, he indicated that following which question? He indicated that when they asked him, how are we going to perform initiation when you're no longer with us?
Then our next question concerns initiations in the future, particularly at that time when you're no longer with us.
And Prabhupada indicated that he would appoint Ritvik. So this is the continuity of that question and answer.
Particularly at that time when you're no longer with us.
Therefore, this applies to when Prabhupada is no longer there.
We want to know how a first and second initiation would be conducted.
Yes, I can recommend some of you to act as officiating Ācārya.
Is that called Ritvik?
Ritvik, yeah.
For the purpose of performing initiations, both first initiation and second initiation, His Divine Grace has so far given a list of 11 disciples who will act in that capacity. In the past, temple presidents have written to Srila Prabhupada recommending a particular devotee's initiation. Now that Srila Prabhupada has named these representatives, temple presidents may henceforward send recommendation for first and second initiation to whichever of these 11 representatives are nearest their temple.
Now that's important. It's not that who I like. That is, it doesn't matter. Let's say I like Hamsadutta Swami more than Hridayananda Goswami. It has nothing to do with this. It's who is closer to me. It's practicality. It's not who I like in these 11s. Okay.
After considering the recommendation, these representatives may accept the devotee as an initiated disciple of Srila Prabhupada by giving a spiritual name, or in the case of second initiation, by chanting on the Gayatri thread, just as Srila Prabhupada has done. The newly initiated devotees are disciples of His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, the above 11 senior devotees acting as his representative. After the temple president receives a letter from these representatives giving the spiritual name or the thread, he can perform the fire yagya in the temple as was being done before. The name of a newly initiated disciple should be sent by the representative who has accepted him or her to Srila Prabhupada to be included in His Divine Grace Initiated Disciples book. Hoping this finds you all well. Your servant, Tamal Kṛṣṇa Goswami, Secretary to Srila Prabhupada. Approved by Srila Prabhupada.
This is the instruction that Prabhupada was saying. Let's go back again to that May 28th.
Then our next question concerns initiations in the future, particularly at that time when you're no longer with us. We want to know how a first and second initiation would be conducted.
Yes, I can recommend some of you to act as officiating Ācārya.
Is that called Ritvik?
Ritvik, yeah.
You link that question and answer to that page, and that's it. And the other thing that happened is that after Prabhupada's disappearance, these 11 immediately became Ācārya. They went to see Sridhar Maharaj, who offended Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati on the very same topic, and from him they took it for granted that yes, now Prabhupada has ordered us. Where did Prabhupada say you automatically become Guru after I departed? It is not there.
Srila Prabhupada did establish a Ritvik or proxy system in the latter part of 1977. What the proponents of the Ritvik theory want to say is that Srila Prabhupada intended this to go on. There's no indication in that.
So, yes, there's an indication that it should continue, and we have already shown it. The words came out of Prabhupada's mouth. When they asked him directly how to conduct initiation when you're no longer here, Prabhupada actually gave this reply, Ritvik. It came out from his mouth. So if I'm a new bhakta and I'm hearing this, well, here's the pure devotee who's just speaking out these words. So if I actually have faith in those words and decide to follow that instruction, why should I be punished by Kṛṣṇa? Here's your pure devotee who's speaking out this, my Lord, and I'm trying to follow that to the best of my ability. Why would the Lord punish someone like this? By cheating him, by having his pure devotee speak out something which is wrong? That doesn't make sense. And here, turning the entire Guru, Sastra, Sadhu and all of this, you see, the Ācārya is empowered and he preaches according to time, places and circumstances. The way that Prabhupada preached, the era in which Prabhupada preached is completely different from any other Ācārya. All the way from Brahma, all the way to now. First of all the Acharyas preached only in India. Of course, Bhaktisiddhanta Sarasvati Thakur started this. And most of the Acharyas, before Bhaktivinoda Thakur and all, they were not using the book press. They were not printing books, right? And only Srila Prabhupada has got his classes recorded. He has got his books printed in an unbelievably magnanimous method in so many languages. Now all his books are digitized. We've got Veda based, we've got everything in the phone. We can have absolutely all of Prabhupada's Vani in this little thing here. This is completely unheard of in the history. He preached in the entire globe. The amount of differences between Prabhupada's time in preaching and other Acharyas is just too big to ignore. Therefore, the measures can be changed. There's no doubt about this.
It was very difficult for us to imagine Krishna consciousness without the physical presence of Srila Prabhupada. That's just the way it was at the time. And Srila Prabhupada was the guru of everyone, and it was like Srila Prabhupada was so great. And then among the disciples of Srila Prabhupada, some were certainly seen as being much more senior and much more advanced than others. But in relationship to Srila Prabhupada, we were all very small. That's the way we saw ourselves. And we had the idea, well, Guru means just super paramahamsa like Srila Prabhupada. That understanding or maybe misunderstanding.
So that is not an idea. It is the proper understanding, because we've read it from Srila Prabhupada books. He clearly said it has to be from Kṛṣṇa Loka. Unless one is a resident of Kṛṣṇa Loka, one cannot be a spiritual master. Must be careful to accept only Uttamadhikari. Therefore, a disciple should be careful to accept an Uttamadhikari as a spiritual master. And one should become spiritual master only if he's Mahabhagavata Uttamadhikari. One should not become a spiritual master unless he has attained the platform of Uttamadhikari. It's not a misunderstanding. It is a proper understanding.
Well, that's again a guru issue. Actually, guru should be topmost paramahamsa and this and that.
And here he's saying, well, actually guru should be. So even he himself, even though he said maybe it's a misunderstanding to think that guru should be paramahamsa, he's saying he should be.
But the idea that the initiation process should stop if we don't have someone on that super high level, that is the point of contention.
So he's saying the initiation process has to go on no matter what, basically. Even if the guru is third class, let's put him in and let him try. That's the philosophy in ISKCON. The initiation ceremony must go on no matter what. Third class guru, let him try. If he falls down, we'll try to adjust. Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Sarasvati Thakur disappeared in, 1935? Srila Prabhupada started to initiate his disciples in 1965-66.
My Guru Maharaj passed in 1936, and I started this movement in 1965, 30 years after.
That's 30 years. Now you might say, well, there was no one to initiate then? what if someone wanted to take initiation? What happened in that 30-year gap? So the answer is, don't speculate. Parampara system is under the control of the Lord. The Lord comes and He's the one who arranged that. He's the one who sends His pure devotee. He takes care. Everything is done by Krishna. We should not think that, wow, the parampara system is about to crash, now I have to save it. So 30 years gap between Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur and Prabhupada initiation. When Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur disappeared, the same logic was there. No, initiation have to be carried out. But Sridhar Maharaj is responsible for disobeying this order of Guru Maharaj. And he and others who are already dead unnecessarily thought that there must be one Ācārya. Who did that? Prabhupada's God brothers. Yet Prabhupada's God brothers are said to be deviants by Srila Prabhupada's instructions.
Srila Prabhupada started by explaining the system to be practiced while he is physically present.
Then our next question concerns initiations in the future, particularly at that time when you're no longer with us.
Srila Prabhupada started by explaining the system to be practiced while he is physically present.
Particularly at that time when you're no longer with us.
What is the relationship of that person who gives the initiation? Or rather, the discussion was first about this system of initiation that Srila Prabhupada put in place with proxies.
All right. Yeah, I did not expect that. I was actually waiting to hear how Bhaktivinoda Swami would be explaining the answer, because the question was very straightforward, as we saw. Now here, Srila Prabhupada's answer. Srila Prabhupada starts by explaining the system to be practiced while he's still physically present. So basically, what Bhaktivinoda Swami here is removing is what we have shown.
Then our next question concerns initiations in the future, particularly at that time when you're no longer with us. We want to know how a first and second initiation would be conducted.
Yes, I can recommend some of you to act as officiating Ācārya.
Is that called Ritvik?
Ritvik, yeah.
And instead of that, he's substituting for saying that Prabhupada explained the system to be practiced while he's physically present. But the very question is when you're no longer here.
Then our next question concerns initiations in the future, particularly at that time when you're no longer with us.
Prabhupada answered clearly.
I can recommend some of you to act as officiating Ācārya.
Is that called Ritvik?
Ritvik, yeah.
And you're saying that this is a system physically present? By removing it and putting your words here, oh no, that means physically present. Prabhupada is saying, he's answering the question, when I'm no longer here with us, this is how we do. So this is what is going on in ISKCON.
When I order you become guru, he becomes a regular guru. That's all. He becomes disciple of my disciple. That's it. It's pretty clear. Pretty clear.
Again, his introduction text here, he's saying that after explaining how initiation would go on while he was still physically present. Again, he's putting the emphasis on those two sentences that he removed, that he doesn't dare showing, saying that this was only when he was physically present, when Prabhupada was actually answering the question, when you're no longer here with us. So that is his interpretation. It has absolutely no basis. And then, when I order you, you become guru, he becomes regular guru, that's all. He becomes disciple of my disciple. That means the order is not there.
Srila Prabhupada maintained the Vedic tradition that his disciples should become regular gurus with disciples of their own, but only after his departure and only if they were qualified.
Only if they were qualified, yes, that is a fact. And we have spoken of that qualification. It means you must be Mahabhagavata, Uttamadhikari. Unless one is initiated by the right person who always carries within his heart the Supreme Personality of Godhead, one cannot acquire the power to carry the Supreme Personality of Godhead within the core of one's own heart. You have Kṛṣṇa, you can give Kṛṣṇa, but he doesn't explain what that qualification is. And even through the Ritvik system of initiation, you can still have your own disciples, your Shiksha disciples. Actually, this is the system that we're following in ISKM. His Grace Sunda Gopal Prabhu is the senior mentor of ISKM, he's a śikṣā-guru, and we're all of his Shiksha disciple. Ultimately, in our ISKM, he's the authority. but he's not supreme authority in the sense that he's independent from Prabhupada and he's going to be manufacturing some new systems and speculate. No. He's the via medium. He's the transparent via medium. He doesn't put himself in front of Prabhupada being opaque, like we cannot see through. Look at me, don't look behind. No, transparent via medium. Bring everybody to Prabhupada. That's the mood of a true śikṣā-guru.
They think they're glorifying, the advocates of the Ritvik theory think we're praising Srila Prabhupada, he's so great, only he can be a guru. But what they're actually saying is, Srila Prabhupada is so powerful and so potent, but he couldn't even produce one single disciple qualified to become a regular guru and accept disciples. That's the implication of what they're saying.
So we have covered that already. First things first, it's not Prabhupada's fault if you disobey.
A teacher can give you hints. The Ācārya can give you hints that you can be saved in this way. But the execution of the duties, that is in your hand. If you perform the spiritual duties rightly, then you are saved. Otherwise, even Ācārya gives you instruction. If you don't follow, so how he can save you? He can save you by instruction, by his mercy as much as possible. But you have to take it in your hands seriously. It is the duty of the śikṣā-guru or Dīkṣā-guru to instruct the disciple in the right way. And it depends on the disciple to execute the process. So far designation is concerned, the spiritual master authorizes every one of his disciples. But it is up to the disciple to carry out the order, able to carry out or not.
Second, he hasn't finished yet.
I shall remain your personal guidance, physically present or not. As I am getting personal guidance from my Guru. Even the Guru is not physically present. If you follow the Bona, then you are getting help. Yes, yes. Just like Kṛṣṇa is guiding us, similarly spiritual master will guide.
Prabhupada will be producing many pure devotees because his books will be here. Prabhupada says his books are the law books for the next 10,000 years. So as long as his books are there, he can transfer transcendental knowledge. Now there will be so many śikṣā-gurus along the way. So this is a very weak argument. They are very proud to present this argument, but it is flimsy.
Followers of the Ritvik theory may believe that Srila Prabhupada accepts them as initiated disciples, but where is the tangible confirmation of this? Rather, this view is only their wishful thinking.
It is not just a wishful thinking, and the tangible confirmation is clearly there. The letter is there.
These representatives may accept the devotee as an initiated disciple of Srila Prabhupada. The newly initiated devotees are disciples of His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada.
The conversation is that.
Then our next question concerns initiations in the future, particularly at that time when you're no longer with us.
I can recommend some of you to act as officiating Ācārya.
Is that called Ritvik?
Ritvik, yeah.
The philosophy is there.
A self-made guru cannot be guru. He must be authorized by the bona fide guru, then he is guru.
A guru can become guru when he is ordered by his guru, that's all. Why these Gauri were fed? They wanted to create artificially somebody else, and everything failed. They did not consider, even with common sense, that if Guru Maharaj wanted to appoint somebody as Ācārya, why did he not say? He said so many things. And this point he missed. The real point.
And nothing is there on their side. There is no such thing as two-third voting system. Prabhupada was against this.
A disciple of Kali cannot become an Ācārya by the decision of some high court. Mundane votes have no jurisdiction to elect a Vaishnava Ācārya. A Vaishnava Ācārya is self-effulgent, and there is no need for any court judgment.
He was against many devotees initiating in the movement. If everyone just initiates, then there will only be contradictory result. As long as it goes on, there will be only failure. He was against the GBC electing gurus. His idea was Ācārya was not to be nominated amongst the governing body. He's clearly stating that only Mahabhagavata can become guru.
The guru must be situated on the topmost platform of devotional service. There are 3 classes of devotees, and the guru must be accepted from the topmost class.
When one has attained the topmost position of Mahabhagavata, he is to be accepted as a guru and worshipped exactly like Hari, the personality of Godhead. Only such a person is eligible to occupy the post of a guru.
Bhaktivedanta Swami has clearly said that he and the other gurus are not Mahabhagavata, just not long ago.
We had the idea, well, guru means just super paramahamsa like Srila Prabhupada. Well, that's again a guru issue. Actually, guru should be topmost paramahamsa and this and that.
It means they're all not. The GBC themselves, they say they cannot guarantee the standard of their gurus.
So this is the GBC ISKCON resolution. This is in 2004, a resolution that was passed. Okay, so resolution 409, continuing the disciplic succession. As a matter of utmost ecclesiastical responsibility, ISKCON's ultimate managing authority, the GBC, regulates who within ISKCON may perform the service of initiating disciples. When the GBC allows a devotee to take up the service of initiating, it does not thereby endorse him as an Uttamadhikari, or pure devotee, or certify his having achieved any specific state of realization. Basically, they're saying, they do not say he's Uttamadhikari, they do not say he's Madhyamadhikari, they do not even say that he's Kanishta-adhikari. Rather, the GBC indicates that it has no objection to his initiating disciples within ISKCON. Now, why would the GBC have no objection if someone is a Kanishta Uttama? Srila Prabhupada clearly said, only Uttamadhikari, Mahabhagavata. The Guru must be situated on the topmost platform of devotional service. There are 3 classes of devotees, and the Guru must be accepted from the topmost class. When one has attained the topmost position of Mahabhagavata, he is to be accepted as a Guru and worshipped exactly like Hari, the personality of Godhead. Only such a person is eligible to occupy the post of a Guru. Each prospective disciple before initiation should become familiar with the qualifications mentioned in Srila Prabhupada's books as those that a spiritual master ought to have, and decide for himself which senior devotee, if any, to approach for initiation. What are those qualifications mentioned in Srila Prabhupada's books? Let's take a look. Therefore, a disciple should be careful to accept an Uttamadhikari as a spiritual master. Within this context, the choice of whom to select as one's spiritual master is ultimately the prospective disciple's own responsibility. So that means the GBC is washing their hands. They are bringing devotees who are not Uttamadhikari, who are not Mahabhagavata, and they propose them as being spiritual master, even though Prabhupada clearly did not authorize that. And then they say this is the disciple's responsibility. In other words, you come to ISKCON, you get initiated by a cheater, then he falls down in the most drastic manner, and your spiritual life becomes shattered. It's your own fault. You're alone.
If you think, well, I can have Prabhupada directly as my guru, even though he hasn't been physically present in this world for so many years, well, why not Bhakti? I like Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati. Maybe I'll become a disciple of Rupa Goswami directly.
So, Bhaktivedanta Swami is saying, Prabhupada is not the current Dīkṣā-guru, the ISKCON gurus are current Dīkṣā-guru, therefore, your argument is wrong because you try to take initiation from the Param Guru, the grandfather guru. That is wrong. No. First, establish that Prabhupada is the grandfather guru. That's what we're discussing here. So this is called Principio Petite. Here we have Petitio Principi. Swarup Damodar. He was trying to present the difference between organic beings and non-organic beings. So he goes in such a roundabout fashion just to differentiate. Prabhupada, Petitio Principi. This logic is called Petitio Principi. He has to prove something, but he is taking his premises from that something. So you're trying to establish something, but you take your argument from what you're trying to establish. First of all, it has not been established yet. That's what we're trying to discuss here. But you're taking your argument from that thing. You cannot take initiation from the Param Guru, and since we are Guru, you're deviating. What kind of argument is this?
No devotee shall participate in such posthumous Ritvik initiation ceremonies in any capacity, including acting as Ritvik, initiate, assistant, organizer, or financier. No ISKCON devotee shall advocate or support its practice.
Okay, so here we have the very offensive word, posthumous. So, posthumous, let us read the definition. So, posthumous, occurring, awarded, or appearing after the death of the originator. Born after the death of his father, posthumous child. So, it implies death, you know. Nahanyate hanyamane sarire. The very first instruction in the Bhagavad Gita is that we never die. So that is the basic, and that is true for a normal living entity. So what to speak of a pure devotee.
So my Guru Maharaj will be very, very much pleased upon you and bless you with all benefits. So he wanted this, and he is not. It is not that he's dead and gone. Dead, the very word there, and posthumous mean after the death. That is not spiritual understanding. Even ordinary living being, he does not die. Nahanyate hanyamane sharire, 220. And what to speak of such exalted, authorized personality like Bhaktisiddhanta? He is seeing, I never feel that I am alone. Of course, when I came to your country without any friend, without any means, practically, just like a vagabond I came. But I have full faith that my Guru Maharaj is with me. You see, that is spiritual understanding, spiritual consciousness. I never lost this faith, and that is fact. These are two words, Vani. There are two words, Vani and Vapu. Vani means words, and Vapu means the physical body. So Vani is more important than the Vapu. Vapu will be finished. This is material body. It will be finished. That is the nature. But if we keep to the Vani, to the words of spiritual master, then we remain very fixed up. Kṛṣṇa and Kṛṣṇa's representative, spiritual master, if you keep always intact, in link with the words and instruction of the superior authorities, then you're always fresh. This is spiritual understanding. You see, so Prabhupada is saying, and they dare, and this is the GBC that dares to use this word, posthumous. What offensive mentality is that? So he says, all four Vaishnava Sampradayas teach and practice the tradition of accepting initiation in an ongoing disciplic line. As we have shown that the transfer of transcendental knowledge is what constitutes paramparā. Now the ongoing disciplic line is that it can continue through śikṣā-guru. Why just Dīkṣā? If Prabhupada puts a system that he can still give Dīkṣā and then his śikṣā-guru representative are expansion of him, just like he stated with the GBC, they act as his body, physical body, then why can't it continue in this way? In fact, Srila Jagannath Das Babaji was the śikṣā-guru of Bhaktivinoda Thakur. Yet, the paramparā has come through him. He was not the Dīkṣā-guru. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur had a Dīkṣā-guru whom, so he found out that he was eating some fish, I believe. So he decided to take shelter of Srila Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj. But Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj never initiated through formal initiation Bhaktivinoda Thakur. So you see that this formal initiation is subsequent. So here is śikṣā-guru, śikṣā-disciple relationship. Yet, they are both Ācāryas in our Sampradaya. And concerning this, there's something that shows what they're trying to hide. So here, this is chapter 1, the spiritual masters. This is Chaitanya Charitamrita. So this is the introduction here. Okay, the direct disciple of Srila Krishna Das Kaviraj Goswami was Srila Narottam Das Thakur, who accepted Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti as his servitor. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur accepted Srila Jagannath Das Babaji, who initiated Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, who in turn initiated Srila Gorakishore Das Babaji, the spiritual master of Om Vishnupad, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Goswami Maharaj, the divine master of our humble self. So Prabhupada said he initiated Bhaktivinoda Thakur, who in turn initiated, so he does not make the distinction between the transcendental knowledge that came from the Paramahamsa Jagannath Das Babaji to Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur. He used the word initiated. Now, in the changed version of the Chaitanya Charitamrita, so here we have Veda-based, these are the newer books. Same place, the spiritual master. Let's read that again. The direct disciple of Srila Krishna Das Kaviraj Goswami was Srila Narottam Das Thakur, who accepted Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur as his servitor. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur accepted Srila Jagannath Das Babaji, the spiritual master of Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur. Why does it say the spiritual master? It doesn't say who initiated Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur.
they purposefully removed that word, initiated. Why? Because the formal initiation is lacking. And this is what they're trying to push in ISKCON. And we have seen that quote that this formal initiation is the relationship between the cheaters and the cheated. Whereas the transfer of transcendental knowledge from Brahma to Narada, Narada to Vyas is real. They have purposefully removed the word initiated. They say the spiritual master of Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, who in turn accepted Srila Gorakishore Das Babaji, who accepted Gorakishore Das Babaji, again, who in turn initiated Srila Gorakishore Das Babaji. They have removed both. That just shows the intention, that shows the motive.